Hey, Mike, this is Kent with WHAS 11. When you finally got the guys back on campus, I mean, I guess the hope is to have them when they were at home, have them in the best shape possible before they return. But when you got them, what kind of shape were they in?
Well, as you know, we did it in phases. So we brought 42 guys in on our first phase, and those are our dudes. Those are our starters on offense and defense, and then the players, the role players. So and then about 9 of those guys have been with me pretty much the whole time. So they were in really good shape. I was super impressed with where they were. My plan on paper, we had to accelerate it very quickly um, with that group. The NCAA had sent us out some guidelines of what they wanted to see when return to play, but that group, they were ready to go and hit the ground running. We got to a point really, really quickly where we caught up, I think, week 3, that where we were the previous summer, if that makes sense. Group 2 was 50-50. About 50% of the guys in Group 2, there was another 30 guys in there. So about 15 of those guys were, they're the same thing. They were ready to run with the Wolves, and they were ready to go. The other 15, they were in pretty good shape, not great shape, but not where we wanted to be. So we've been manipulating their especially their conditioning the last few weeks. And then just to be honest, I haven't been with Group 3 yet, Phase 3 yet. The last 16 guys that came in, my wife's been pregnant, so I haven't been in the office the last week. So, but from what I hear, they're in really good shape. So, very pleased with what the guys did over break and what my staff and Matt Summers' staff helped them with their accountability over the 12-week break.
Mike, hey, it's Jody Dimling with Cardinal Authority. What you said, obviously on paper, your plan. Have you changed anything from last year till now, or is it about the same plan that you had that you implemented?
Yeah, so if you heard us, me or Coach Satterfield talk, we never really try to change our plan. Our plan is our plan, and that's what makes us so consistent. With the pandemic happening, we had to kind of pull the reins back on that a little bit, but the last team meeting we had prior to those 42 guys stepping on campus, I sat there and I told them, I said, within a 3 to 4 week period, we're going to be exactly where we were at that date last summer. So working back into it, accumulating into our volume and intensities, Jody. But with that group, we did it really quick. I mean, within 2 weeks, we were where we wanted to be and where we were the previous summer. So our guys did a phenomenal job.
Hey, Mike Cameron from Carrier Journal. How different are these workouts just with all the guidelines you guys have and things you like, the groups you can be in? How different are these workouts than they might have been last year?
Yeah, I mean that's the issue, right? The ball is the issue, but that's the issue. So all the policy and procedure, that's the issue, and those are the things that really kind of manipulated not so much what we do or why we do it, but how we do it. And that's those 3 staples in our program: the what, why, and how. So normally our guys have full run of the facility. If they want to go in the tubs at midnight, they can go in the tubs and get their body recovered for the day before. So those are the things that we really had to manipulate. Really, our guys get an opportunity to come in the facility for 4 hours a day, and that's it. And really, we kind of look at it as 3 separate families. So phase 1 family, phase 2 family, and phase 3 family. So as staff, we're there from anywhere to 12 to 14 hours a day, kind of chaperoning those guys to the facility. They can't go anywhere without us. They can only be in the locker room for a certain amount of time. They got to be in the tubs with masks on so many feet away. We're not feeding them the way we used to. So those are the things that we're slowly getting better at in correcting, what we're not doing as good as we were the previous year. We're working back towards that. I just cut off a meeting about 30 minutes ago. Is the one area that I don't want to say we're dropping the ball, but we're not doing as good as we did last year is our nutrition. We cater 3 meals a day for these guys usually, and we're not able to do that right now because of the pandemic and not allowing people into our facility, and then also being in a gathering area without social distancing. So we've got to find ways to manipulate that so our guys are getting the calories not only to train but also to recover on a day-to-day basis. So typically a guy coming into the facility would be there 2.5 hours, depending on how much film and recovery they want to do. So now they walk in and it's 4 hours straight, and it's highly manipulated and babysat the whole time, which it's CYA. It's a pain in the butt, but that's the things we got to do. And be honest with you, is Cameron, we've been really successful. We're not having any issues right now. Matt Summers and his staff is doing a great job, and the players are following all guidelines. And then, kudos to our GAs and QCs. Without them right now, what we're doing as far as the plan daily and the chaperoning and babysitting and making sure we're accountable for all the policy and procedure, they've just been absolutely murdering it for us. And, I can't thank them enough.
Mike, this is Ken again with WHAS 11. I would imagine during every summer, you start seeing guys through workouts, conditioning, they start to get the itch to do football stuff. Have you already seen that? I know you get to start doing things next week, but if you already start seeing that with your guys, probably mainly that first group.
Well, it's kind of like a dog that, wants a stick. It's always there. They're always eager to get that pigskin in their hands or practice their skill. We talk about it all the time, and we set time aside every day to check that box and make sure we're, indulging in what they love to do. Because as you all know, training isn't always fun. So you got to have that cherry or that carrot dangle in front of them all the time. So we set aside about 15 to 25 minutes every day to work on their skill development, whether that's with a ball or not on a ball, position work, etc. But we're coming to that time of year, and the decisions need to be made. So the uncertainty is the one thing that I think is really kind of holding us back, and not just the players, but us coaches and the fan base, and even you guys is. We still really don't know what's going to happen. So, that's one of the things that we've had to deal with probably more than anything is the uncertainty. Why are we training? Why are we still doing the things that we do on a day-to-day basis when we don't know if the season's going to happen or what the season's going to look like or this, that, and the other thing? Football's here. We're 2.5 weeks away. We're starting OTAs and mini camp next week. That the NCAA's granted us because we didn't get to do our full spring ball. So we'll start checking that box, and the kids' attitudes will start getting better, and so to speak, that dog will get a stick. But the uncertainty right now is the one thing that I think is holding us back from really kind of diving in and being all in on this season. But that's a whole organization. That's not just the players.
Mike, Cameron again. Obviously, you talk to some of these guys, and they talk a lot about you as being kind of one of the motivators there. When you're going through so much uncertainty, how do you or and the rest of your strength staff keep these guys motivated? Because you're around them more than most people.
Yeah, it just goes back to our the daily grind of what we do and how we think. I'll use me as an example. This is the first time in a 13-year career that I haven't been with my guys for more than 24 hours, unless we're on some type of winter break or spring break or something. It's easy to dwell on the negative. It's always, it's easy to listen to the noise. It's always easy to turn on the media and listen to the uncertainty. But, we need to find the positive every day. And lean on that and lean on each other. So that's the message every day. Not in every day. Mike Sirignano doesn't wake up in a good mood, or Mike Sirignano doesn't wake up ready to work. I always got to get my mind right. I always got to look in the mirror and have some self-talk. And we're kind of leaning on that aspect of training. Physically, we're in really good shape. Physically, we're ready to play football. Mentally is the part where we're struggling just a tad, and I think it's not just us. I think it's coaches, staff, media. Every organization in the country right now is, the uncertainty is kind of beating them up. But, the message is every day that we're working towards something, whether it's September, October, November, February, NFL season, it doesn't matter. We're working towards something. The goal has always got to be in the windshield. We're never looking in the rearview mirror at it. So get your mind right and get to work. It's just a reset every morning. One step at a time, one day at a time, on the ground you walk on.
Mike, hey, it's Jody again. With that uncertainty, I know you guys talk a lot about consistency in the plan. Did you set the plan for September 2nd or September 3rd, that first game, and then alter it, or have you altered the plan in general, knowing that there's a lot of uncertainty out there?
No, that date is set right now in stone, and that's what we're working towards. Obviously, as an organization, me, Coach Satterfield, the coordinators, we sit down, Matt Summers, Josh Thompson, our nutritionist, Emily Artner, and we decide how we have to manipulate that a little bit to get what we need. Now, you've added a few things this year. We're starting next week. We got 20-hour work weeks with the players. So how do we manipulate that so we're getting our needs? What's our needs analysis? We still need to get a little bit stronger, but we're right where we need to be. We still need to get in a little bit more better shape, but we're right where we need to be. But then also we need to add the football that we missed during the spring. So what does that look like, and how do we get there, and how do we manipulate that every day so the volume isn't too high, so we don't go into camp and we don't go into the first week of September beat up physically and mentally. So just sit back and talk about it, talk to the players, talk to our leadership teams, and understand that date is coming, and we need to get there and not and be ready for it. Again, just conversation and working towards what we always want to be. And that will never change for Coach Satterfield and myself and the rest of the staff.
How have you managed with, as you mentioned it, having a wife who was pregnant and now having a little one at home? How have you kind of managed throughout that with all this uncertainty and everything going on?
Just like everyone else, man. One day at a time. This last week, 1 hour at a time. My wife, she came home last night. My baby's in NICU, and then this morning she had to go get readmitted back to the hospital. So, and then I stopped at work for the first time in 4 days or 5 days to see the guys, to get my mind right, because I started to slide into not a downward spiral, so to speak, because of all the question marks. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's going on. I blow a whistle and coach and motivate and pick things up for a living. So just got to keep everything within that windshield and keep moving forward. We as people, we as football people know there's going to be adversity around every corner, and how are we going to fight through it? What's our mind going to be like? Where are we going? We can't slow down. When they tell us we have to slow down, that's when we will. But right now, we're full steam ahead.
Mike, you mentioned, obviously, you're not the doctor, but, these kids, they just see stuff on Twitter, and they feel like they want answers, parents want answers. Do they come to you guys for advice on how to deal with all this? And if so, kind of what do you tell them, as there's so many rumors going around about what the season might look like?
Well, think that's just it, Cameron. It's a lot of rumors. A lot of people on social media, they start speaking on what they heard or what they might think happened. The good thing about it, the communication right now in the ACC and throughout the country, it's very strong. Coach Satterfield updates me daily, whether he addresses the team about things or I have to address the team daily at the end of lifts or before lifts. We do that, and we just do it like we've always done it, and just be honest and transparent. And that way the uncertainty is clarified, because a lot of things happen on social media that aren't correct. So we just put those fires out as they come. But again, it's just everything we do in our program is completely honest and transparent.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, I think that's it.
All right, fellas.